All right. Happy Wednesday, everybody. It's Patrick here from Have Cheeto Will View, a questions with. And yeah, it's Wednesday and it's hot as hell here in Michigan once again. It's about 90 degrees here, factor in the humidity. We will be talking to our guest, uh, animal rescuer Linda Lubritz-Guidroz, in about 15 minutes or so. Um, Yeah, this is going to be a fun interview and a very informative one too, because I've actually interviewed two animal rescuers before. I've interviewed my friend Karen Jones, and also interviewed on any questions here Calvin Tucker, aka Black Noah. Now, both of them, especially Calvin, he has an established rescue, and Karen does it case by case, but she also has a routine and she's part of a network. Now Linda, on the other hand, this is what's going to be really good. Is hey Harley, glad you're here. Glad you're here. Uh, so this is going to be a little different in the fact that Linda does have a small sanctuary at her house, but she is actually in the middle of actually creating her rescue and the steps that go with it. Now, this is going to be informative because I know a lot of people like to know what does it take to establish a rescue. It's not quite as simple as I get a spare room so I can go ahead and put 20 dogs or cats in. That's not how it works. There's a lot of wow. Hi, Ice Lord. How are you? How are you, man? Thanks for coming out for this one. Thanks for coming out. This is not a horror or a glamour interview, but it's animal rescue is something that's very close to me. I'm very much especially cat rescue. It means a lot to me. So our guest is in the process of setting up her rescue, and she's going to talk about her steps that she has to go to get her rescue up and running. And it's interesting. It's very interesting. Uh, and I know this is going to be funny for some folks, but the IRS actually is doing something that's really positive here. Um, I'm really, when me and Linda were talking before the show, we were talking about animal rescue, and she was telling me some of the steps she had to take, including the role that the IRS plays. Uh, oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's hey, Cos, great. Oh, okay, awesome. You know what? That makes me feel like I need to reach out to Calvin to have him come back on. I really enjoy talking to animal rescues. I need to send a letter out to the guy who runs Flatbush Cats. That guy's amazing too. That's one of my favorite Instagram channels. I got a couple of questions here before we get too much further. The monkey came by and dropped off a questions. He says, "Good evening, Cheetah. I have a question. Do you agree it doesn't matter how many followers you have? What truly matters is what you bring to the stream." I absolutely 100% agree with that, Monkey. It does not matter how many followers you have. It totally matters that you bring high quality to a stream. And that is you for sure. Every time you're in one of my streams, I know it elevates it. I know I'm going to get good questions. Someone who's very engaged in the guests that we talk to. So no, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. It doesn't matter if you even have any followers. If you're just a supporter, you're still very important. So no, you truly do matter. See, he also says to me, it is also not about the how many followers, but who they are. I am proud of who are my followers. The number matters not. The quality of the follower does. Um, yeah, the person. Do you feel the same way? Absolutely. Um, there's a few channels that I know that have they pander to the populace. They that's what they do. A lot of channels do that. They will just pander to whatever's hot, whatever's in the moment. In order to gain followers. unfortunately for them, what they find out is after whatever they're pandering moves on, a lot of those same followers will unfollow them because they're no longer the it channel or or hip enough. And they find out they have just a lot of fly by night followers. I like the followers I have. I feel that they're very loyal. They're very supportive, and they have a lot of passion and compassion. So yeah, Monkey, that I totally agree with you. Okay. Cody Ray's in the house. How's it going? It's going well. We're pretty excited to have our guest on. Uh, one quick question. One quick moment. Okay, I'm gonna see. Linda says she's outside the door, and so she should be up here momentarily. So we'll get her a little early. Um, all right. Hey Patrick, how are you? Yeah, me too, Harley. I think a lot of us probably got our pets through either rescues or through the animal shelter. So that's where I got the cheetah. Um, yeah, I don't like that either. I don't like that either. Yep. I don't like the. I don't like that. There's a channel on Instagram called Seaspiracy. Awesome channel, and they bring attention to the abuse of the oceans. Um, let's see. I don't know if you're I'm not. Well, I'm not sure. Echoes a psycho. I do know that he probably belongs to in an asylum though, with a lot of movies, like asylum movies, maybe. Oh my god! If you guys haven't been following Echo's channel lately, he has started a review series of all things asylum. He is the first YouTuber. He is the first horror YouTuber I know that has actually covering asylum movies. I've been on the tube for 2 years now. I have never seen not one person reviewed more than one or two asylum movies in the entire 2 years I've been on. So it's very interesting. Uh, let's see. Let's see, Monkey. Cheeto. I too am passionate about this subject. Yes. Yeah. It's really bad. It's really bad. Okay, I'm still alive, so I know that she can. All right. Uh, yeah, go asylum. You don't know how many people have actually probably said that, Echo. Oh my gosh. Follower and see. Harley has a question. Has a comment. Followers and likes. At the end of the day, all that matters is that you have reached someone with your message. If you can reach people with your point and discussion, that's all that matters. Yeah, I agree with that. I totally agree with that. Um, it really doesn't matter. As long as you have good quality content and you have good followers. I mean, there are some that if you want to jump on a bandwagon, I mean, I guess you could do that. You can do that, and you can get a lot of followers that way. But then again, like once you fall out of favor with them, you're not going to have them around, because they're just fly by nights. Or in sporting language, they're bandwagon fans. I'd much rather have a small following that's there every night than to have a big following that will disappear the next week. So that's my idea. I mean, I know some channels are really good with the tech. They'll do tech, do editing, gimmicks, whiz bangs, whatever, and that does help a channel, and that's solid. I just hope, I'm very simplistic. I mean, I'm sitting here talking to people one on one. There's no gimmicks. There's no special effects. There's none of that. It's just honest discussion, and I hope that's enough. Okay, let me go see. Oh, yeah. Well, a Chromebook is. Let's see. Uh, well, that doesn't make any sense at all. Hold on one second, guys. Hold on one second here. Uh, 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 uh. Hold on, I'm still here. I'm just trying to help my guests get on. Get on. All right. You know how it works. All right. Huh. I've never heard of that before. Does anybody have a Chromebook in here? Anybody use a Chromebook? I don't understand how you have a Chromebook. You can't open it. You can't open a StreamYard through Chrome. That doesn't make any sense. It must be missing something. Let's see. Asylum. Go Asylum. Yeah, Go Asylum. AWO. That's. I don't know how anybody can say that. AWO. Oh, they're killing it with that tonight. There she is. All right, let's go get our guest. Woo! Whenever there's cats involved, we will find a way. Hello.
Okay.
There we hear you. Hi, Linda. How are you? Let's
Making
see.
sure this is working. I've only got it on my phone.
Okay. Yep, we hear you. Can you hear me all right?
I'm trying to make sure everything's working here.
Yep.
Because I'm trying to get where I can hear you.
That's all right. We are in the chat. We are talking about the new world order. All right.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get it where I can hear you.
Let's see. It should say on the bottom of your phone, it should say mic and it should say camera. You should just unmute both of those and you should see me. I see you perfectly and I hear you. All right.
Yeah. Okay. Is that better?
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay. I'm just going through and closing all that out. Okay.
Okay. So welcome to the show. I've been looking forward to this. I've been looking forward to this because I think it's going to be very educational and very informative. And everybody in the chat is massive animal lovers. Yeah, people have already said they're already acknowledging the fact that greetings, creator of shelters, you save lives. Yeah, that's really what it is, isn't it? I mean, when you do shelters, when you do animal rescue, I mean, it's really what it is. It's a life saving. It's a life saving. You know, I guess it's dedication. You know, you're dedicated to saving lives. You know, and in your case, your shelter is dedicated to saving cats.
Yeah, because they can't speak for themselves.
The cheetah might disagree with about that because he talks to me all the time. But yeah, but I know what you're saying. I definitely know what you're saying.
Yeah, I do. Mine. I have 20 in the house so they just come in and out during the course of the day. I have doggy door and they come in, they eat, they go back out. I never see them for days sometimes, and then they'll come back again. And sometimes they'll come back with one or two friends. And I've always got to feed everybody. So
I mean, is that something that have you always had that when you were a child? Have you always had pets as a child?
I started off with the usual goldfish, killed those. Never could handle those. But yeah, I probably had cats for I can't remember how long. My first cat was when I was around 4 or 5. My father brought a kitten home that he found, and it was just love from there. I just can't live without them. I don't have a big thing for dogs. Now, I've rescued dogs before, but I just don't have a big thing. I don't know. I just don't connect with them.
I used to connect with them.
I don't have that special bond. Like, for some reason, it sounds really crazy, but I can hear them. I know what they're saying. I know what they want just by their tail swishes, their eyes, their ears flinching. any of that type of stuff. I know what they're saying. I know what they need. It's this very strange bond I have with them.
Yeah, I've always had that too with cats. Dogs, I like dogs. I've owned dogs. I've had some really good dogs. But it's always been with me, cats. Always. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
had my first cat when I was like 11 or 12, and that was before that was and that was before I'm an indoor advocate. I know some people are like indoor outdoor. I'm an indoor,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but I mean I mean there's definitely there's preferably indoor because they live a hell of a lot longer. But I know a lot of people feel, but they need to be outside, and
Oh, sorry, puppy. Ugh, somebody just stepped on my face. I just sorry. I just don't mind. This is the one dog I have. I didn't see
uh,
him sitting there. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Yeah.
the animal's still seen, that's for sure. Let's see, beauty subscriptions and more says that she has two lovely cats. I have one. I have one big cheetah. She's also saying thank you for rescuing. If I could help my local shelters, if I could, I help my local shelters. I used to visit just to play with the animals. You know what?
Yep.
That's actually huge. If you go down to a shelter to volunteer, they always are. They're always looking for dog walkers, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
A monkey's asking you a question too. You know what? We're gonna save that one. I'm gonna save that one, monkey, because that's a good question. But we're gonna talk a little bit more first. That's a really good question. Uh,
Okay.
so yeah, okay. Now I've talked to two. I've actually talked to two shelter, animal shelter that had established. I think one's a foster. That's what Karen, my friend Karen, is. She does fostering. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then of course you and I both know Calvin Tucker, and
Yeah.
he was on here. I interviewed
That's great work.
him. Yeah, he's a hero. He walks in the he goes where angels fear to tread. Um, and he's already established his shelter. Now
Mm-hmm.
you are in the process of establishing it, and now I find that
Yeah.
that's really what caught my attention was because we always see shelters that they're already going, like you see people say donate to my shelter, donate to my nonprofit or whatever, but we don't know how the process goes, like
Yeah.
how do you start a shelter, how do you
I
do
tell you, the
yeah and
people. First of all, the government. Not to say bad about the government, but they make it very, very difficult to get a nonprofit, sanction. You you have to jump through massive hoops. You have to, and normally now, in every state it's different. That you have to have the state's approval, of course, and the IRS approval. The IRS approval requires I think it's like a 28-page application I'm filling out now. In that application, I have to have business plan. I've got to have people who are going to be with the rescue, as in like vets, people who are going to be part of like directors and because it's a regular, it's almost it's a corporation on steroids, and you have to have so many different people, and you have to have a report on each person's job, okay, on what they're planning on doing in that rescue. It's just very, very difficult, and you can't get. A lot of people won't even look at you unless you have that. Okay, I've been doing animal rescue. I'm going to say probably 30 years now. And I've never had to worry about getting the nonprofit part of it. But things these day and ages where it's costing a lot of money to get these animals fixed. It's, you can be on a waiting list to get your animal center. Sometimes, like our animal center, they have a bus that goes out and they park in different places, and you can go and get the cats fixed and shots and everything else. But when you have 25, 30 cats, and every time I seem to get them fixed and they get their ear tip, they disappear. So 3 more come in their place. So I'm constantly having to just be creative in coming up with money or asking people to help me. And a lot of people are like, well, you're a shelter, but you're not nonprofit. And, so I'm like, okay, how do I do
Right.
this?
Right, because they want to donate and they want to do
Right,
that, but they also want to get tax credit for it.
right,
But
right.
I you have to. I mean, I understand. You and I both understand that this is one of those rare cases. This will probably shock a lot of people, right? This is one of those rare cases where the government actually gets it right. Um, and I totally condone the fact that they're putting people through their paces, because I'm sure you probably in your rescue, I know Calvin told me this too. Uh, you see a lot of people that have good intentions, but they're woefully unprepared for actually doing it.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Because
so
it's
I
not
think,
a light job. Let me tell you, I'm going through this application. It's crazy.
yeah,
I thought it was going to be, oh, well, I'll just fill it out, that type of thing. No, no, I had no idea what it was all about.
I guess they do it because they really. It's just like adopting an animal. It used to be you could go down to your local. When I got my first cat, I got it for nothing. I went down there and they gave me a cat. And
Right. No, not
now.
anymore.
Uh, thank you, Beauty Subscriptions and more. I appreciate that. This interview will be on replay, so if you can always come back, and it'll be up and running by the end of tonight for sure. Um, but it used to be when I was, because I go down there and I got my animal for free, and used to go down there and
Mhm.
get dogs or cats for free, or donation. You could go down and donate
Right.
a little something and
Yeah.
get a. But unfortunately, we know now a lot of the times when that happens, it wouldn't a dog owner or a cat owner would think nothing of, uh, abandoning it, because what does it matter? They threw them outside, or they moved, or they didn't want the animal anymore. It's not like they paid for it, right? They just got it for free, and
Right.
so when shelters started sitting there going like, yeah, it's going to cost you some money to start adopting animals.
Hmm.
If you want to buy that, you want to get that dog over there, that's a $350
Yeah.
adoption fee, or a
Yeah.
cat, $110. All of a sudden, now that just a disposable animal, all of a sudden you start looking at it a little bit differently, because now you're investing money into it. Now
Right.
it's not. Now it's just not just whatever and get rid of it whenever. Now it's like, well, I paid $350 for the dog. You
Yeah.
know, I want that dog. This is how much I want that animal, and I
Right.
understand them putting people through that. It seems to be the only way people listen on some respects. It's like, and they don't listen until you put a price tag on it.
And it's sad, but unfortunately, it's the way it has to be. To adopt from me, I've got now. I have a vet finally that's working with me. She charges me $30 per animal. That's with an ear tipping, the vet rabies shot, and I get if I want a microchip or something, I can add more, or if I want to be able to get different shots, or I usually get the feline leukemia, the testing and all that stuff, because if it is where I have to, it does have something, I have to cage it separately. I have to put it in what I call a cat aviary, where I keep them separate from the rest of the group, because I don't want them eating the same food and all that. And probably have 5 or 6 cats in their own separate area that are like that. They're perfectly happy. But I don't want to go and get the rest of the population sick, and normally if some vets, I sometimes really get really mad about this, is that the vets this day and age, and I'm not knocking them, okay, because not everybody's like this, but they want to euthanize before they think about anything else. They just want it done. And I've had cats go in there with broken jaws. I've had cats, all different kinds of things. And one I had walked up to us in our front yard and had an infected eye hanging out. What do I do? So I bring it down to the vet, get it taken care of. $1,100 later, out of my back pocket. That's what it cost for the surgery. That's what it cost to take it out and do all the stuff that had to be done. Well, that still didn't include the spay on top of it, okay, for her. So, and vets are different. this vet happened to charge us $180 for each spay. So when I have that kind of money in, that is wrapped up in an animal, I'm not going to let that animal go for a free adoption. I'm not going to let the animal go for a $10 adoption. I have to charge at least minimal $55 for that animal. And that is even taking a loss for myself, but it will allow me to get another cat fixed or spayed. So that
and
in that
also,
$30, that I pay, plus the tests, I think are $8.50 a piece. So by the time I have anything, I'm only breaking even. I still have to come up with all the money for the shots that I give them all out of my own pocket, which I do here at the farm. And let's see what else. Of course, all their food, worming, any type of medication that they're on or have to be on constantly. It's for me to have to go into the nonprofit, I have to. My only problem is I'm thinking I don't have enough people on my board to be able to possibly let the state of Florida allow me to go through with it. So there was at a time that you had to have minimal 5. Right now I have probably 4 people that are willing to come on board, and maybe I'm probably going to talk to the vet about getting a kind of a contract with her, so that the state sees that I do have a valid vet working on the animals and that I can go to. And then I have University of Florida, where if it's an emergency at night, I'm trying to work out with the director there over the veterinarian practice to be able to bring something in and either get a bill for it or, not have to stand there at the counter and count pennies, because when you bring it in for a nighttime vet, you're 150 just to walk in the door.
Just to walk
so, it's I'm on Social Security. I'm retired. I don't have this kind of money to do this, but I won't give up on the cat.
Let me ask you a question. But why do you think all of a sudden? Why do you think that? It used to be an animal bill used to be actually rather, it's like a dog or a cat gets sick, and yes, you go in there, and it used to be relatively like, inexpensive. Like you need a neuter, and they would neuter it for like $50-$60. But now, and it seems like animal care, now they have animal insurance and all that. It seems almost. I mean, it's almost in some cases it's more expensive than people medicine.
Yeah.
Now, why do you think that has? What's the reason why you feel like that has gone up? Is it the demand of veterinary on the people? Because are there enough vets to go around? Is that the reason why, or is it just because I'm cynical, but maybe because vets see that they take advantage of all the compassion that people have for the animals, and they charge more to get the more money.
Well,
I hate to say something like that, but
I know
it just seems like whenever
greed.
Greed.
That's all it is. It's sheer out greed, because you cannot tell me. I have a small medical room that I keep all kinds of stuff in. Okay, it does not cost. I know they have a lot of overhead. Then they've got to pay their people. Then they've got to pay their insurance just to be a practice. Then they've got to pay, I guess, to be able to the instruments and all that. They're very expensive. There's just a lot of things that go into it. But I just can't think that these vets cannot. Some of them anyway, depending upon the area that they're in too. They know what they can get. They know that if they're down, let's say in the Villages, which is over near me, they can charge $200 to walk in the door. Why? Because the people down there have the money to do it. So, But when you're in, when you're country people and country folk, we don't have that kind of money that it takes to be able to pay that kind of money. So a lot of times, unfortunately, the dog gets abandoned. The cats gets abandoned. They just get thrown out the door. They just die, whatever. They just get left on a chain somewhere, or, put a bullet in their head. It just doesn't make sense. But the vet that I used, she used to be formerly from an organization called TLC. And what they do is they help the community. to be able to get as many cats and dogs spayed on different, I guess, scales and whatnot they have for how much it costs for, you know, the dogs, the cats, whatever. And you can get it for a lot less. Okay. But the problem is a lot of vets, they get so burnt out from doing the spays and neuters because there's just so many people on, and which is a good thing. I'm not saying bad, but they bring their animals in to get spayed and neutered. But there's thousands of them, thousands. And these vets, they give their time for a very nominal amount of money. Okay. Those are the ones that I like to be associated with because they are there for the animal. They're not there for their own pocket. Okay. When
You
you
know,
walk into, yeah, when you walk into a regular vet's office, you're going to pay out the nose, again, because they have overhead that, you know, they're, you know, mostly it's,
I
they
think
tell me
this
it's
is
the rental of the building and all that other stuff. Because
right.
I've talked to them, I've sat down with many vets in our area to see who would be the right one to work with my rescue. And at $180 a pop, that's not the right one. You know, it takes away from all the food and the medical attention I can give to another cat. So,
You know, you listen to you talk right here, Linda. It just really, if anything else, it just proves the point. You know, like I said before, there are some people that advocate indoor, outdoor. There's some people that advocate indoor. You've proven exactly the reason why I am advocating indoor only. My cat has never been outside. My cat's an indoor cat, and I can tell you right now that his care, his expenses that I've had since I've had him, and I've had him for 10 years are nothing compared to anybody who's had an outdoor cat. I've, you know, they get, you know, they run the chance of getting hit by a car, attacked by another animal, attacked by another human. They could get poisoned. I mean, there's that just raises the cost. You know, a lot of people don't get their animals fixed, so then they run around and then they create
right.
colonies. I mean, it's people contribute more to, you know, they contribute to, I guess, the cost of expensing of taking care of an animal. They contribute more than they realize to the high prices when they sit there and say, but Fluffy's good outside, he loves it outside. You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem why we have big colonies. You're part of the problem why we
Right.
have so I mean, I wow, I mean, you know, because like I said, animal care used to be reasonable. But now, you know, between watching Calvin and between watching the Flatbush Cats and talking with you and my other friend Karen, it's just shocking to see how people don't really understand that. It's like
Yeah.
you know, not to say your animal can have fun, your animal can have plenty of fun if you get it neutered and spayed and
Right.
neutered. I mean, look at all the people that take their animals on trips, and we got
Right.
thousands, if
Right.
not millions, of videos people doing that. But do it
Yeah.
responsibly, because when you just sit there and let your cat run around or your dog run around, you're making the job for rescuers such as yourself hell of a lot harder
Yeah.
because because the vets will they'll charge the money. You're right,
Right.
they'll charge more.
Sure they will.
Um, and you're right, the cynicism of that's probably the one thing that gets me the most. You know, when I was talking to Calvin was the cynicism of the doctors. It's like
Yeah.
they forgot. I mean, they're so overwhelmed that they no longer. It's almost like they get the compassion beaten out of them by all what they see because they see it all the time, every
Yeah.
day. Um, let's see. Monkey has a question here. Do you put chips in each animal to make sure if a month after a dog or cat gets adopted, that if you get in another dog that is injured, it's the right? Okay, he's wondering if you get your animals chipped so you can make sure that you know, you can make sure if you know it's you can see you know, you can track where they're at. If they get hurt or whatnot, you can tell by a chip if you helped that dog before or not. That's a really good question, and I know like for you a lot of rescues now or you know or fosters they're advocating a home visit. Um, they won't do an adoption without a home visit or a vet referral. Would that be your policy? Is that your policy as well? If someone adopts from you, they have to have a vet, and they have to have they have to have
Mhm.
a vet. They have to have a. You go over and look at the house, make sure the house is nice looking,
Oh
and
yeah, I have a gal that goes over for me, and she'll do the home check. She'll also bring the cat on at least. Well, we have it up to now up to two. We had it at three times at one time but the gas prices, of course, we have to just limit. But we bring the cat out twice to the house. Okay, we first go there first to check out the house and make sure it's okay. There's no big bad dog that hates cats. Um, then we bring the cat out. We let whoever's in the family play with the cat right there in the living room, whatever, and we watch them interact with the cat. Then we always tell them the same thing of, if you have other animals, we want to see this cat, the other animals are going to react to it, and it's going to react to the other animals. We don't want it to scratch kids or anything like that. If you have children, we're not going to give you a cat, even though you may like that one, and that's in that cage. We might tell you that's not good with kids, or that's not good with other cats, or
right,
we do more than just what the animal center and whatnot does, and some of um, the other groups they do this as well, because we have to match the animal with the family. It's not always picking the cute little black one or the cute little white one over there. It has to match. Otherwise, the cat's going to get killed by the dog or whatever, and you get the kids who a lot of kids are mean, and they're a little they little Joanne may like the cats, the brother may not, and the brother may want to abuse it and kick it down the stairs or something, because it's in their way or whatever. These are things we don't want to happen. So I don't want the cat just thrown out the door when it does something wrong. So we go to a couple of home visits with the cat and see if it's a right fit. If it's not the right fit, we try another cat, or we just, we turn
move on.
down the application. I cannot give out one of my cats to a place that I know they're not going to thrive in. So,
Right.
maybe that'll just, keep my rescue full. I don't know, but I'm not going to do it. I just
No,
don't
no,
like the idea of,
no, no.
yeah.
I agree. I've seen that with I keep referring to him because it's true, but I've seen that with Calvin too. He'll go out there. He'll insist on an animal. On a home visit, and well, now he's doing a home visit. He's doing a home visit, referral, and now he's
Mhm.
also doing job
Oh,
referrals.
I call the vets. Absolutely. If they've never brought it, if they just pick one out of the phone book, so to speak, and they just say, "Oh, well, and I say, "Well, have you seen Mrs. Smith? Has she brought other animals in here? Has she?" We don't
Mm,
even know who this woman is, or something. That's a that's a telltale sign. Unless somebody just recently moved into the area, then I would like to do is, I will go with you to the first vet visit, and get the vet to do a health check, even though I make sure I have a health certificate with my cats and everything anyway. But I'll go there and I'll just say, okay, look, I want to introduce this cat to you. This is going to be here. This is going to be owned by so and so. I know it sounds ridiculous, but the animal centers, they don't do this. Okay, they just give the animal out. Sure, it's spayed and neutered and all that good stuff, but they just hand it to them. What happens? I get a phone call. I can't and no longer keep this cat. It bites, it pees on the floor, it does whatever. Um, and there I go, picking up the cat, and I end up getting it to my rescue, and I have to go and then see what behavioral issues it has, and see if it does it here. And again, I'm not going to bring it to somebody else's house if it has a behavioral issue. That's just banging your head against the wall. Um, but it's just there's so much involved, and I didn't realize, now trying to, in this day and age or whatever, it's getting worse and worse and worse. It never used to be like this. It never used to be where I had to do this amount of home checks and this amount of checking the vets and going behind people, and I have to ask the vet to make sure that the shots and all that are given. And I check up with the vet and I say, okay, look, she was supposed to be due for her 1 year rabies. Did she bring the cat in yet? And then no, okay. Then I have to go and I have to call the owner and pray that the phone number is the same. And I know it sounds petty, but I do want to check on the cat. If they say, no, we no longer have it, it died, we gave it to Aunt Sally, whatever, at a point, I'm going to lose track of the cat. But
Yeah.
at least I know I've done my best to give this cat the right life and the way to thrive and whatnot. I'm there an advocate for them. I have a lot of cats that I know here that I cannot put in other places. There's just no way. Some of the ferals are like little mountain lions. I can't get near them at all myself, other than to put a plate down in front of them, give them a little pet, and then they might back off and they might run like a shot. But
I mean, the best you could do for them is to try to do TNR. I mean, that seems to be the main primary goal. You're not going to be able to save them all. There's some that after 8 weeks, if a kitten's born and has had no human contact within 8 weeks, chances are it'll never have it. I mean, there are some exceptions, but as the rule, it's like if they don't have human contact in 8 weeks, they're going to be feral. And in that case, you just like there's not enough shelters. Obviously, I know when I spoke of cats being indoors, of course I'm speaking about cats that have been domesticated, that have been handled with people, whatnot. But for colonies that with cats that don't have that, the best you could do is just to trap and get them TNR so they don't keep having litters. If that's the main thing. You can't save them all, but you can definitely prevent the colonies, by getting them trapped, released, and neutered.
Right.
And some people,
and that's mainly that's probably my goal.
Yeah.
And for anything else, I'm trying to get all the feral cats that I find at least the first year rabies shot. Sometimes I even go a 3-year rabies shot because cats out in the feral cats, sometimes they last, sometimes they don't. I've got one cat that has been at my house for feral now, and honestly, where he goes during the day, I have no idea, but we call him Fat Cat because he's got the strangest, biggest fat head I've ever seen in my life. But he's been around 10 years, and I got him fixed, but he don't want to be caught. He don't want nothing to do with anything. Luckily, I live in the woods, but unfortunately, it's growing up around me, and I do get a couple of neighbors who are, keep your feral cats off my property. And how would you like me to do that?
Yeah, the feral, they're not mine. I mean, I feed them, I neuter them, and they come and I feed them. As far as that goes, it's just it is what it is. That's one thing about cats. That people give them a bad reputation. It's like keep your cats off my property or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like it's like they don't hurt anything. They really don't. They're actually if I was in a wooded situation or a farm, like a lot of times a lot of shelters will have farm programs where they'll take feral cats.
Marion County has this called Working Whiskers. Working Whiskers. Yeah, I think that's cute. But exactly.
Right, so they can get transferred out to barns and whatnot, and they become working.
Yep, and believe me, even near me here, there is a lot of vermin running in the woods. These cats come back with rats in their mouths. We had one that came up with a snake a week ago? Came up with a snake in its mouth, and it was funny because the sister to this cat, they're both sisters. And one had one side of the cat, the snake, and the other had the other side of the snake. And I wish I could have filmed it. They trotted through the front yard as if to say, "Mommy, look what we brought." No, I brought it. You brought it. I brought it. And it was just, you could imagine what they were saying in their heads when they both
I'm trying
oh, it's so cute. It was crazy. It was crazy. But
I'm trying to imagine what you say. Like, oh, that's really, what the hell are you bringing me now?
Yes. Yeah. And and they do it. I get moles all the time. I get all kinds of things left on the front porch because they're what a cat does. And this is really funny because I talked to another person that is a cat guru. Okay. And we both come to this conclusion. when a cat brings you something, it's because they feel that they have to feed you, and this is their present to feed you because you take it and feed them. So they, in fact, they want to return the love. So they bring you something figuring you're not going to go hungry because you didn't let them go hungry. So, and that's why I said there's a lot of different things that people don't really know about cats that I have learned over time. And I don't know, it breaks my heart to know that they do communicate and people don't listen.
Sure.
I guess,
Talk all the time.
they
Yeah.
just, they feel, oh, they're just sitting on a windowsill. They're good. They're fine, but do you ever play with it? Do you ever, communicate with your animal? Do you ever, see so that if there's something wrong, the littlest wrong with your cat, you'll know it. But no, people don't look at it like that. They just look at it as,
No, they don't because they see cats as just they don't show any emotion. A dog shows a lot
right,
more emotion.
exactly.
It'll let you know when it's
Exactly.
happy. It'll let you know when it wants to play. It'll let you know when it's unhappy, or
Right.
and it's so much easier to read a dog's body language than it is a cat's. But that's only if you don't really look at a cat. If you know a cat, then you know the body language.
Yeah.
How old were you when you first did your first rescue?
17.
15.
17, and it was at a barn. It was a mama cat that had a bunch of babies, and she had them in one of the horses' stalls, and I was going in there to clean the stall, and was like, what is this? And I saw these little babies in the straw, and I was like, I can't leave them here. Oh my God, So I waited for the mother cat to see if she would come back to them, which she didn't. And I waited all day. Nobody went in the barn. I wouldn't even let them put the horse in the stall. All day into the night, I'm sitting here. Now, a cat's not going to just leave their abandon their babies and not feed them like right after. So I ended up saying, okay, that's enough. It was cold out. So I went and I brought them home. I bottle fed them, had no idea how to bottle feed them. I used a syringe from one of the vet kits there at the farm. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to, figure something out. And I didn't even know what to feed them. So yes, I went and we had goats on the property as it was. And I knew enough about goats from FFA and whatnot. We milked the goat. So I knew that, let me give it goat's milk. And they thrived. So that was probably the first ever getting thrown into it about, feet first. Had no idea what to do with these animals. And that was the love. After that, that was it. That was it. Never saw the mother again. But that was my first rescue. And I think it was 5 kids, I think it was about 5 of them. And ever since then, now I take all the orphans I can find. If anybody has orphans of, 1 day old, 2 day olds, 2 weeks old, and they're still being fed, bottle fed, I will take them in. I will take care of them, and
Now, are you part of
raise them up.
Are you solo right now, or are you part of a rescue alliance? And that's another question I was going to ask you too.
We all work together. There, for instance, if somebody has kittens that some people don't want to take the newborns. Okay, they don't know anything about them. They don't have enough fosters that know about them, so they call me up, the crazy cat lady, and I take the babies. And right now, I'm trying to get up enough money to get an incubator that I can put them in instead of walking them around in socks on my, I put them in my pockets, like I have a smock, and I have pockets for the kittens, and I put them in socks and whatnot to try to keep them warm. And if they're anywhere between 1 and 10 days old, after 10 days old, they start opening their eyes, they move around a little bit more. But the incubators, I think the one I'm looking at is $399. But this is what you put them in. This way, they're kept at their temperature, and that's one way you don't have the upper respiratory infections and whatnot, because you're keeping them warm all the time.
That happens all the time, doesn't it? To kittens, they always get the upper respiratory infection.
Yeah, that's the biggest killer of cats, is the upper respiratory. And I get cats in with that, smaller kittens. I get that in with the goopy eyes and all that. It's just, it's really sad. And then I have to sit there and put a lot of medical attention into them.
Yeah.
And some make it, some don't. It depends on how bad they have it before they got to me. I bring them right to the vet. We get them all taken care of. But unfortunately, there are some that the vet, no matter what we've tried, they either don't come back, or they're in such a weakened state. Unfortunately, I lose them during the night. Or there's times where we've had animals so sick, unfortunately, they've had to be euthanized.
Right.
And that breaks my heart. That just breaks my heart. But I'm not going to let an animal suffer. Number one, that's my biggest thing. No animal shall suffer on this farm.
No.
If I can do anything for it, I will do it. And there are different agencies here, like Vocal, VOCAL, and it's to do with, they help people with food. They help people with medications for the animals. They also have feral days where you can bring in your feral cats for nothing to get spayed and neutered. They have a lot of different avenues that I use them.
Are rescues allowed? Are rescues allowed to use those services as well, or is that just for private owners?
No, anybody can use them. They get truckloads of food and everything for the cats and dogs and hamsters and gerbils and everything. You can go to them at any time and you can say, I have a need for whatever. And they'll let you have up to 4 cats or 4 dogs worth of food, and you can go twice a week. So, it's not like they don't open the doors. There are agencies out there that I've used that I've said, oh gosh, I don't have enough food. All of a sudden I got this whole, 10 cats I just got in. And, I'm on a budget where I have to go and, I buy so many bags of food for what I have. And then I buy a few bags for anything that might come up. But the problem I have is I always like to keep a sack of food and some canned food and all that in my car, because I have to sometimes go out and try to catch things. So they have helped me on the spot many a times when I've said, hey, I've got to go up and catch, so many cats. They will send people in that area that they're affiliated with, and they will set the traps, and I'll go and check on them, or they can go check on them. So, everybody always carries food in their cars and a trap or two, because we never know what we're going to come up to.
Right.
Now, we all work together. Some of them work better than others, I want to say. And some of them are like, nope, sorry, I do my own thing. Which is
I heard, I mean, it sort of distresses to hear that too. There's, well, Mr. Flickster, how are you? Welcome aboard. We are talking to Linda Lubitz. How do you say your last name?
Lubitz, Lubitz. Lubitz.
Okay. Gubritz. She is a cat rescuer down Florida way. I have heard that too, Linda. That there's been that a lot of cat rescues or animal rescues, they sort of compete among each other. I don't understand that. What are they competing for?
I don't know. At this point, a lot of them, and they're not even 501s. That's the thing that gets me. They're people that just want to call themselves rescues. Okay, fine. I have no problem with that. But don't not take help from someone else if you need it, because it just makes the animals suffer. I'd rather go and pick up 2 or 3 cats from this person who may only be able to keep another 2 cats, and the 5's their limit, for instance. I would rather do that and give them any help, bring them food. I work with the girl in Vocal. I'm trying my best to be able to keep the animal taken care of. If you have a problem with me or my rescue or some other people, don't let that be a hindrance on taking care of the animal. Always worry about the animal's needs first, yours second. So if you don't if you don't like somebody because you went to school with them, let's say, and they were the bully of the school, but now they're doing cat rescue, oh boy. Just because you don't like the person, don't make the animal suffer. So that's
I
just,
would
and that
really,
is petty. Unfortunately, there are some rescues that I know some people that will not work with the others at all. They won't share their donations if they need it, because there's other areas, not just spay and neuters. There's a lot of medication needed, a lot of, or we also transport. We also go down and I work with all Florida. I've gone as high as Panhandle to go get cats, newborn cats from people, because they can't take care of them up there. So who do they call? They call this rescue, that rescue, that rescue, that rescue. And everybody tells me the only couple of ladies that we know of that takes the newborns is, Miss Linda, or, the vocal people, or this people, or that. But I'll travel. I'll travel to get the cat. Doesn't bother me one bit. As long as it's within my reason that I can do this with. Or the other thing we do is, because we have a network, somebody will get it, maybe bring it only to Tallahassee. Then somebody else that lives in Jacksonville will go to Tallahassee, bring it down to another 40 miles. And then, and it becomes like everybody brings it a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more, and it'll get here. It'll get here. So, that's when rescues work together. That's part of the camaraderie that everybody has. And we all get together on picnics, and we do things, and we have a lot of fun with each other, and we swap cats where somebody may have a need for a wet working whisker type animal up wherever they are, and they don't have any. Well, I'll say, hey, I'll bring Musabi, or I'll bring this person, or whatever cat I have. Yes, my cats have weird names. But we bring them to them. We say, okay, here, and we'll do the paperwork the same, because I have to keep records of every cat, even though I'm not the 501 yet. I still keep records. I keep records of everything, so I know where my money's going, and everybody else can see where the money's going. So, I've brought cats to different rescues all over, and just to be able to find them a good home. Oh, this person's looking for just a cat that's a one cat owner, and they're just wanting that. Okay, fine.
Do you think
I'll
that's
bring
part of
mine,
the problem
because
too? Do you think it's part of the problem with rescues too? Do you think they're just like almost like a cat or a dog, in the fact that they're competing for limited resources? Is
yeah.
that one of the,
Mm-hmm.
because they're competing for donations or whatnot, or
Yes.
that's yeah.
Yeah, everybody's competing, and it's really hard. But the 501s get them first, okay? But because
Right.
what I'm looking into now is we can get grants. They have a big list of Purina and some of the other. I think it's the Petco and all that. They have grants, and at certain times of the year, you can file for a grant, and they will say, okay, what do you need? And I'll say, well, I need to put a new cattery up, or I need to be able to, like I'm doing now with putting in it's like a steel building I'm trying to get a hold of, so that I can make it where I could have the cats in there instead of my house, because right now they're just running around my house being crazy. But when I have sick animals and whatnot, I want to have a room that's just for the sick animals. I want to have a room that's for just the moms and kittens. I want to have a room that is just for the males, to have, I want to be able to have separation, because right now everybody's everywhere. And I have 2 rooms in the house that are dedicated to just, the sick ones. So it's hard, it's really hard. And I'm requiring to have the 501 so that I can get these things for the animals. A steel building is going to cost me $15,000, but I don't mind, coming up with some of it with the people that are around me and whatnot. That's one thing, but for the most part, it's difficult. It's really difficult. I try to tell people, well, this is what I'm doing when I have my adoptions, because I go in front of like Tractor Supply, and I'll sit in front of Rural King, and I'll show them the cats, and I adopt some out. Some where people come there to pick them up. I'm so upset that I can't get things done, though. It's very frustrating. Very frustrating.
Let's go back to this, because again, it's really frustrating. Yeah, I can hear that in your voice. But we both agree too that it's absolutely necessary because again, it's like, they're putting you through the hoops and whatnot because they want to make sure that you're really truly are, because it's a commitment. It's not just a hobby.
Yeah, it
You're
is.
not, and so when they come
It
up there and
is.
say, we want you to sign, because they're basically doing to you what you're asking for other people when they adopt a cat from you. You're looking to vet them, and the government's looking to vet you. So they want to
Right.
make sure that, and when you told me about the IRS, they want $400. I have
Oh,
to admit,
yeah.
I had to sit here and I had to smile at that, going like, you know,
Yeah.
I never, never in my life have I ever heard anybody sit there and say, ever praise the IRS until I heard that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Until I
But
heard,
they want $400 just to send the application through. And if you don't get, you don't get a okay, then they keep the $400. It's non-refundable. So
but you know what though? That's awesome.
yeah,
That's awesome. I mean,
but it makes
that's
the
how
right
it should
people
be
do it,
done.
because if you don't,
Right.
yeah, if I'm not going to put my money out there, especially $400, to go and not go through with it. There's so much more that you have to do, because it costs me money to help somebody help me. Sorry, Ken, getting ahead of myself. It costs me money to work with someone to get a business plan. So that's money. The
Right.
second, you have to go and talk to all these other people that you have to bring in, which are the vets and all that. It costs money to be able to go all around and try to get like a report from them. I have to then get that typed up and put into a file report myself. It's just so much that I have to do, and it costs money because I have to pay people to get these reports and stuff together. I don't have the time to sit here and spend weeks on writing reports and whatnot. I have the cats. I can't sit down. I sit up all night long, and I write every night. I pick another section of this 501 to be able to do, and I say, okay, tomorrow, what do I have to do with it? Okay, and it's not
How,
easy.
how much?
It's
I
six
mean,
months minimum.
once you get your 501, I mean, it's going to make your job, your passion, a lot more easier. I mean,
Yes,
you get
yes,
that, and a lot of the stress is going to go away because now you'll be
yes.
able to do crowdfunding and crowd raise, money.
Oh yeah,
So you'll be able to
oh
do all
yeah.
that, and you'll get a return at the end of the year. So it's a little bit of pain for a bigger reward down the road.
It is,
And
but it's for the cats. I'll be
right,
able to be able, yeah, I'll be able to have so much more for them. Um, it's just, it's overwhelming the amount of money it takes to run a rescue. Okay, I don't care who you are, whether it's for a horse, dog, cat, guinea pig, anything. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of dedication. Luckily, I don't work when I did work. I sit up all hours of the night, and I have to give babies, bottle babies. I may have 18 babies at once, newborns, neonatals. And, it's tiring. It's really tiring. So
what's the line, Linda? What's the line between that you've experienced, in your rescue? What's the line like between going from an animal advocate to an animal abuser? And I mean, as far as hoarding goes,
say that again. I couldn't hear you a little bit.
what's the difference? I mean, how thin of a line is it from someone? Because a lot of people, and we both know that they have great intentions. Like when I got my cheetah, um, they had what they call clear the decks day at a shelter, and what they did was they said any cat over 6 months old, it was basically you go down and get it for free. I mean, I paid zero for the cheetah, which I was shocked at, of course, because who gives away exotics? But the reason why they had to do that was because there was an animal abuse case, a hoarder
Yes.
case, where they had 88 cats. They
Oh
were
my God.
bringing
Yeah,
in 88 cats.
that's the
So
cat hoarder. We hate those. We hate those. I never take more than I can handle.
Yeah, how many? What's the difference? I mean, because like I said, everybody has great intentions, but how does it go wrong? How does it go wrong to where it's like, I'm helping these cats, and initially they're
Mm.
right, but all of a sudden
Okay,
there's
I
so
can
many.
tell you right now,
Okay.
people don't want to part with their cats. They feel that no one can do better than they can for the cats. Okay. They figure there's so many people out there that are abusing them and everything. I'm going to make sure my babies are always taken care of. And then they go and they pick up a cat from this person, that person. Um, they think they're doing well. They profess to everybody that they're a cat rescue, and of course, these people, they just hoard. They take them in thinking that they're going to do it right. They're going to do it right,
Do they
and
ever understand they split from a
yeah,
rescue?
they can't even handle it. They don't even know first. They don't even know the first thing about taking care of them and giving them what they need. They're just they're thinking that they can do it all, and they have good intentions. Everybody
It's,
start out
it's,
like you
it's
said,
thin
starts
line,
out with
isn't it?
great intentions, but then they take more than they can handle. If you only can take three, that's better. That's even three for like the foster parents that we have. Three, that's all you want. That's all you can do. That's great. Even one is good. Because if I have 15, let's say, for instance, and I can only handle 10, I'll find somebody for the other five. These people won't. These people will take, they will take it. They don't care. And it will live there. And then it gets out of hand. And then there's, you don't want to see the hoarders'
They can't,
residences that
they
I
can't,
come into.
they can't
Oh
afford
my
to,
God.
they
Okay.
can't
We
afford to get
found,
fed, right?
yeah, no, no.
And
And
so
it's beyond a little old lady with a couple of cats. Okay. It gets beyond that. Um, I try to find to discourage people from that. I always tell them if they want, all my fosters, if I want to, if you want to take, X amount of cats, always tell me. It don't feel like you have to take them. If you don't want to take more than one or two, that's fine. If I come up there with four in my car and say, okay, how many can you take? Don't think you have to take all four. If you can just take one, I'm happy. Okay. That's one less that I have to then find another home for, or temporary home for. But no, the person will take all four, and meanwhile there's 10 more inside, and then they don't have the money to feed them, and it goes on from there. So yeah,
uh,
that's becomes the hoarder situation, and
yeah, it
the only
seems
way we can get them
like
out
a
of
really
there,
thin line, doesn't it? I mean, it's a very thin line. Going from
it
a
is,
rescue
it
to
is.
an animal
There,
abuser.
it's I have to end up calling animal control, unfortunately, and I end up getting animal control into it because I tell them what's going on. I'll tell them they started off as my foster parent, kitty parent, um, and there's just too much going on over there, and I think you need to do a well check, and I think you need to, get in there and see what's going on. So they
How
have
is
their
how
cruelty
is your
officers
animal
go over there.
how is your animal control services where you're at? Are they dedicated, or do you feel do you feel
Um,
this? Do you think animal control officers are dedicated, or you think it's just a job for the most of them?
it's split. It's split. Um, some people, yes, their dedication is fantastic. Okay, they're right there for the animal. They're they arrest the right people. They give the tickets to the right people, but they have to also go by what we call here in Florida, or Marion County anyway, Chapter 4, which is the animal code. Their hands are tied only to what they can do in there. Okay, but you do also get I guess I want to say, there's good cop, bad cop type thing. Okay. And you get some that are just worried about their badge and worried about, you know, who they can write the next ticket to. Okay. They'll ride you behind and for the wrong reasons. Okay. Um, luckily, we have a really good group of officers here at Marion County. They're some of the top-notch people. Some of them are ex-police officers, or they work in the fish and game department, or wherever. But They really have a good head on their shoulders. They're really kind-hearted people, and they'll work with all the rescues around. They want to work with you too. They don't. They have a no-kill shelter now, so which has made a lot more ferals, a lot more people just having nowhere to bring the animal. So there's going to be a lot more rescues out there, and even if they're rescues that aren't the 501s, or they're just a backyard rescue with somebody that takes care of the cats and they do their bidding to put money into them and get them spayed and neutered, and then they'll hand them to us, or find homes for them. They have good-hearted people. The animal control officers will always work with those kinds of people. The people that they don't want to work with are the ones who are the hoarders, because it's really, really, they have to take the cats, and they
I,
have the dogs and everybody else. They have
I was
these
just gonna,
people awful.
I was just gonna mention that, like that's where I got, that's where I got mine. I got it from a no-kill shelter. My neighbor, he wanted to get a dog. He's thinking about getting a dog, and so I said, well, we should go to the same place where I got my, where I got Paladin at. So he said, all right. So we went up there, and it's a no-kill shelter.
Yeah.
So I went to look at the dogs, and wouldn't you know it, out of the 85% of the dogs, you already know what breed they were,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they're everywhere.
Yeah.
I've been to like 4 or 5 different shelters, and there's one breed of dog that just absolutely dominates what's inside the shelter.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and can anybody guess what the breed of dog that most shelters have an abundance of?
Mm-hmm.
So
The
many of
most
them?
infamous.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yep.
insane. It's absolutely insane. I just like, wow, before you go out there and there'd be a whole selection of dogs. But
Yeah.
now you go out there, now you don't have any choice. Now if you want a
No,
dog from
it's
the
pit bull
shelter,
heaven. Pit bull,
yeah,
staffies, mixed breed. Everything's mixed with pit bull.
yeah,
Um, they rarely have small dogs anywhere that you can go up there and get.
no,
Everything is just, yeah, everything's
it's
pit.
horrendous. It's horrendous. I don't, okay, I don't like pit bulls. I don't trust the breed. I don't trust the breed. I don't
It's
think it's,
mainly how you raise them, though. In all
yeah,
honesty, it is
I
how you
hear
raise
that all the time, but I'm
them.
telling you
I
now,
had two, and
I don't believe that. I don't
mine
believe
were
that.
well, they were dogs that the kids can just fall over and nothing, the dog would do absolutely nothing. But I don't care what anybody says. I agree with you on that, to say that all dogs have teeth. All
Yeah,
dogs are, they can bite, and it doesn't have my small dog that I have. Okay, the smaller little brat of the bunch, not the little one, the other one you saw, but the small one that I have, a terrier. He will bite a child in the face in a heartbeat, because he just doesn't like kids. But that's the small dogs. Now you get the Chihuahuas and all that. They have a worse rep than pit bulls, the
yeah,
smaller dogs, and
yeah.
because their nature is to bite.
Cocker Spaniel, number one biting dog. I couldn't believe when I heard that. It's the number one
Yeah.
biting dog. Do you think German Shepherd? Do you think Great Dane, Mastiff?
Nope.
Uh, Cano, was a Pressa Oh,
Mm-hmm.
you think all those dogs, pit bulls? No, it's a Cocker Spaniel. But
Yeah.
when a Cocker Spaniel does bite it's gonna hurt, but at least you're gonna still have your hand. Whereas a pit bull
Yeah.
bites
Yeah. That's
you,
true. Oh, that's true. Yeah.
and it's a real shame, because everybody, and this is the other thing too I was going to ask you about, and I mentioned this to Calvin too, and he I love that guy's heart. But one of the things I noticed too when I talked to him about this is there are a lot of people who before, when you get a rescue a cat or a dog, if the dog had 3 legs, or the cat was blind in one eye, or had
Mm-hmm.
a crooked tail, it was always the last one picked,
I
right?
know.
Always.
Yeah.
Now they're the first one picked. Now everybody comes in there, they go inside there and say, do you have a cat with one leg, with 3 legs? Do you have a
I
dog?
know.
Because they're
Yeah.
exploiting, because they're looking to exploit them. You see plenty of people exploiting these animals on social media, and you know,
I
and they
know.
basically use the animal to sell. They sell the animal. Oh, look at my poor cat. You know, this is my cat. You know,
Yeah,
This is Bruiser. He's got no ears and he's got no whiskers. Isn't he
yeah,
cute? You know, and then they exploit it. You know, buy his shirt, buy his cup, whatever. Um, I don't really particularly like those people either, because
no,
they're doing the rescue for
for all the
all the
wrong
wrong.
reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um, I just find that frustrating. I find it frustrating. I'm like, wow, why are you exploiting these animals? You know, and you know, sure as shit, as soon as the animal gets too sick or whatever, you know, they're not going to keep them. They're not going to spend the money
no,
in
no.
preserving their
They'll
life.
just get something else, and they'll. That's just like, I don't want to change the topic off of cats, but would like to add this in. There's people who do that with monkeys. It's a big thing with monkeys.
Mhm.
Everybody loves the baby monkeys, and you can watch those shows. They're from Philippines, they're from Thailand, they're from all those. They get these little monkeys. They trap them, go to trappers, whatever, and they put diapers on them, and they give them baths, and they make them, give them bottles, and they give them all these cute little things and stuff. And then as soon as the monkey starts maturing and starts getting, bitey and all this, they right away. The monkey's gone and a new monkey's there. So people do it all the time, and they want to make a buck on it. They bring lots of views in on it. It's sad, and it's not the way to make money, but it'll never stop.
No,
Unfortunately, it'll never
I
stop.
just I see it on social media, and this is what to me it's like, you know, it's like before it'd be like this will be so cute, you know, someone actually have compassion and sit there and say, you know, I'll take the cat with the three legs because no one else will take him,
It's
and love the
stupid.
cat. But now they'll take him and exploit him. So all the people,
Right,
and
right.
so for all the, you know, and you know, it really hurts the other animals too. You know, it's okay to adopt. In fact, you know, like, you know, if circumstances were right and there was a three-legged cat and I happen to like him, I adopt him. But you
Right,
sure shit
absolutely.
wouldn't.
I've got, how many blind cats I have, and people don't want to adopt them, but to me, just as long as you're going to keep it inside, it's fine. But they want to. Now, I definitely won't let somebody have it just because they want to have a cat. You can tell if they want the animal or whether it's something that they're trying to exploit to be able to get money for doing whatever else. Um, and unfortunately, I am kind of tight on my animals that are hurt, that have deformities, and I have several cats that are mentally challenged. We're going to say, um,
There's some cats with a what ch. They're fine. It's just they
yeah,
have that condition. You know, they're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just that they had what they call
they have
water.
deformed. Yeah, I've got a cat that Mr. Rocky. I call him Rocky the Rock Lobster because he's got on both feet in the back. He has 5 toes together. In other words, he's got 3 on one foot and 2 on the other foot. And on his front feet, he's got this is the strange part. The 2 nails or claws, however you want to call it, digits on the bottom foot is trying to come out the top foot. So instead of the cat having the normal 4 toes and a back, the back toe, I have 6 or 7 toes on one, but it's only a like the cartilage is there on like the. It's hard to describe it. I don't have him around here to show you, otherwise he's probably somewhere else. But in other words, if he has 4 in between the toes, that would be one more is going to sprout out, and it has like the nail, but obviously it doesn't know where it retracts. It's the strange thing, and he's really weird. He's my crazy child, but he's deformities, and he's got a neck that has 1 less vertebrae in it. I have no idea how that happened, but the vet and I both we had to give him an X-ray to make sure it's either undeformed, unformed, but it's it's not enough to, he can barely move his neck. Let's put it that way. You can't move, he can't like bend it like normal cats to look here, left to right and whatnot. It's kind of it's deformed. That's all I can say. But he's got weird deformities all over him, where his toes are coming out that should be 5 on each, on each foot. He's got 3 coming on one side, another one over coming on this side. His nails are rolling like a Tootsie Roll. They're rolling. I have to go and he's got to go and get be sedated, and they have to cut the nails every so often. You can't do anything about it. It's painful for him. The doctors won't declaw him. In a situation like this, that this poor cat's suffering like this with having to go and get sedated every time his nails have to get cut, I would have wished they would have done the declawing of maybe 1 or 2 of those claws that have the problem with it. But they said, no, we'll do it this way. We don't believe in declawing. And I'm like, okay. But to me, if it was declawed, it would be one time and that'd be it. And not this, the cat wouldn't have to suffer all the time to get him, to get the claws done.
Yeah, that's one good thing too about states. It took a long time, didn't it? It took a long time for animal abuse to finally get recognized for what it really is. It's no longer a $50 fine or a slap on the hand. Now states are coming at you with heat because they recognize finally, after several studies. Listen, if someone abuses a cat, they're going to have no problem going inside the school and shooting up your kid. If you don't recognize that, then there's all the studies that said that people who abuse animals as kids or whatever, they do end up growing up to be violent and unstable and more tend to prone to violence. And and they finally, states have started acting serious weight now, to where people are, one guy, he got arrested in Texas. Now I tease the shit out of Texas. I do. Texas is not exactly one of my favorite states, but I'll say this: they're one of the leading states when it comes down to protecting animals. One guy, he killed an animal, and he thought he was going to go get himself a little $50 fine or a $500 fine or whatnot. He got 8 years in prison. He was but it was just an animal, and the judge says that'll be another year.
Yeah.
Like, holy, someone's getting that, someone's understanding that thing. And that, because that's was part of the rescue too. You're rescuing abused animals as well.
Oh, I take it you have no idea. I take in cats and dogs.
I'm going to ask you a little lighter question that because hi Fluff, I hope you're feeling better. That's our good friend Fluff from the Whitsundays in Australia. I hope you're feeling better. Good day to you, mate. She's really sweet. Tell us what foster fail means.
Foster fails?
Yeah, I love that term. What's a foster fail?
Well,
have you had a foster fail in your rescue?
No.
Oh,
you mean, wait a minute. Maybe I'm thinking of something that you're.
Foster fails when you adopt, fostering a cat, and you're only supposed to foster it, then move it on.
Oh, those, those. You end up keeping we get those all the time. They fall in love with the cat, which is fine with me. But yeah, we get that. And
we like you to be a foster, but you failed, so they don't get the animals anymore because because you fail, because you're only supposed to take care of it, and then we're supposed to, adopt it out. And I know a lot of people who foster fail.
But they'll still take a cat or two. They might have kept that one, or but it's because every animal has such a personality, and some cats show, or any animals actually, but some cat shows more than others of how affectionate they are. Those are the ones that we have to rip out of the foster cat parents' hands, and go, no, we really have to give this one away. Oh no, please. but yeah, I've had actually some foster parents who have now they have their max cats. We don't let them take more than 3,
Yeah.
and they've adopted 3, and what can I do? But as long as they have a home, and I know
Right.
the foster catteries, um, they're really loving, wonderful people, and sometimes then they may find somebody that they will adopt the cat out themselves to, um, because they find somebody that's I don't know, lost their cat, or got a kid by the car or something, got out the front door, whatever, and so the foster parent goes, hey, I have somebody that really would like this cat, and she's really, she's lost hers and this and that, and we're like, okay, so they, since it was already put in their possession, and we gave them all the paperwork for it, they can still find a home for it, and then we just bring another one over. But
Okay.
sometimes we also get the call in the middle of the night, we can't handle this cat anymore. We don't want to
Yeah, I've
have to
heard
worry about the cat's tearing up my couch, tearing up, I'm sorry, I was trying not to sneeze. um but the cat, tearing up my couch, tearing up this, tearing up that. So we do get the opposite. We do get the foster parent calling me in the middle of the night going, get this cat out of here.
Yeah. Well, again, it's we mentioned Mr. Flixer mentioned yeah, nobody here believes in decline. Decline is horrific.
Oh no,
Yeah.
they did away with that. Oh goodness, not sneezing.
Yeah. People don't understand.
Yeah,
It's not.
they did away with that,
I like
which
when
is
people
good,
tell
but
people. Yeah. I go up to
yeah,
people. I say, "Let me see your hand. Let me see your hand. This is. Let me explain decline for you. Let me see your
yeah,
hand. Okay, here's my hand. Okay, I'm going to get a pair of pear snips right here.
right,
I'm going to
right,
cut your first. I'm going to cut your finger off right there. Is that
right.
okay with you? Hell no.
Right. Pull your fingernail right out of your skin. Yeah. And I'm
Oh
glad
no.
they did.
The first segment of your finger is that it
Mm-hmm.
what a cat does. So let me cut that first. Let me cut the first part of your finger off,
Yeah.
and let me know how you work with that.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you're
And
suggesting.
normally I do not advocate it at any way.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Rocky, if you saw his foot, you'd say, oh, what do we do with this mess? You know, and then you have to make a, decision. But um, yeah, I would never do it. It hurts. I mean, you can't say it doesn't hurt, and you can't tell me that it doesn't. It also makes a cat, believe it or not, they found a study that
Aggressive.
declawing a cat will make them, and weird as this may sound, incontinent.
And,
So
and aggressive.
yeah, and aggressive, right? Yeah,
Because they're
but
because they're always
they
on the
completely
yeah,
change.
yeah,
Um,
because they're
they
defensive.
don't feel they can
Mhm.
trust you anymore.
No,
That the cat
and
doesn't
they're
feel,
defensive.
so they pee in places because you've done this to them. Um, I don't know. It's
Uh,
just that I wish I could try. What I'll do is I'm going to send you a picture of what I'm talking about with the nail, the way it is, and how they have to cut it back. Um, they have to cut it back so that it exposes the quick, their little vein line.
right.
They You have to, so the poor cat has to deal with either having the quick exposed all the time, okay, the pain that causes,
Yeah.
or let the nail roll up into itself, or get the nail taken out. That was the 3 choices.
Uh,
So when I show it to you, and I show you what anyone who wants to see it, they'll get in touch. They can get in contact with you just to show that I'm not at all advocating declaws.
no, nobody
But when
does.
it's medically necessary, because of the situation that the cat's having to go through every month, that's difficult. That's difficult.
Okay, okay, yeah, you know what? Yeah, cats are fascinating creatures. I mean, it's so hot here. Someone asked me about, like it sent me a picture of their cat, and the cat was
Hmm.
laying on the rug, and it's all black. It's an all black cat, and it's like
Hmm.
90 here. I showed her a picture of the cheetah. He was sitting next to me, laying up here. It's hot as hell in here. Makes me laugh because I told her, says, They don't go down to the basement. Like my cat, I like for him to go down to my basement. It'd be great because I have a concrete basement, and there's
Hmm.
he could kill two things with one visit. He could walk on the concrete, which helps keep his claws,
Hmm.
more worn down. And two, it's much cooler down there. He could flop on his side down there on the floor. He has a box down there with a blanket in it. He could
Yeah.
flop in the box. But they never go down to the basement. They never go down in the summer. They rather be up here. Like, it's hot as hell up here.
Oh, yeah. Socialize. They love their people.
Yeah, that's really what it is. They don't like going down to the basement. If he goes down there, because that's where I put his cat box, but his
Yeah.
litter
They
box.
go down, do their
But
business, come
no,
right
no,
back
he
up to go
won't
with
go
their
down. He
people.
won't go down there. He'll just stay up here. And it's like, why don't you ever
Yeah.
go down to the basement and just relax? It's so much cooler down there.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, you have no idea.
uh,
I have their room, their cat room is completely air conditioned. Um, I even, I have one in the window as well down that area because it's a little too warm on that side of the house. It's just the sun beats in the windows. And they would still, instead of being in a nice cool room with all their toys and their little cat condos and all the little things that they have that can sit in and play with, and they'll rather sit inside with me.
Mr. Flicker mentioned something too about declawed cats. He said that they could put on excessive weight too. Well, that's the
Yes,
reason why is because it's painful to walk on. So why
it's
would they
painful to
walk?
walk on. They don't, right. They don't want to
Yeah,
walk on it.
no.
Yep.
So that's what
And
they
and think
do.
of how they have to feel when they jump down from something. What's the
Yeah,
first thing you're hitting on? They're
you're
hitting on
fine.
your claws.
Yeah.
Yep. And if you have to
Uh,
jump down, I have seen I have seen some nasty little things go on. The stitches busting open. And then the people look at me like, I made a mistake. Can you take care of my cat? I can't look at it like this. Really? You
yeah.
know? Oh my God, no, no.
Do you still like people, Linda, or are you sort of cynical toward them?
I don't like people. No, I'd have to say I'm really cynical of a lot of people. A lot of people look at me like, cats, really? You don't, why do you like cats? You know?
I noticed that, and then rescue people in general. I noticed that the more they're into rescue, either their own or an alliance or working for a shelter, um, whatnot. I see that they tend not to like people. They
Yeah.
really don't like people
Well,
because they
because
see,
we don't just see the nice people. We see the ugly people.
yeah,
We see what they've done to the cat and then or whatever animal. I've taken horses too. My sister does the horses. She was a horse trainer for 40 years, and she does the horses. And we've seen some horrendous injuries on these animals that I look at people and go, really?
yeah,
And I cry. I've you don't know how many times I've gotten cats and from people's homes, and I hold a chin up when they're, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I understand what you want to take the cat, and you don't want it anymore, it scratches the baby or whatever, that's fine, okay. But then I look at how they've treated the cat and how they just pick it up by the scruff and just throw it in the carrier. And I sit there and go, okay, don't say anything. Just shut your mouth, Linda. Just shut your mouth, get the cat and go, you know? Um, yeah, no. I'm
I got in trouble once by my wife. My wife got mad at me because we had to take our cats to the vet for one time, and so I scruffed them. I scruffed them, and
mhm.
I supported
Well,
them, but
that's
I scruffed them.
fine.
Right,
Scruffing's
but
fine, but not the way
she saw that.
not, no. They, that's the way their mother carried them.
Right,
Okay.
I knew that, but she didn't know that, and so she's got
Yeah.
really mad at me. She says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm putting them in in the carrier." You
Yeah.
can't grab them like that. I said, "I'm scruffing them. That's exactly how you're supposed to do it." And she got
Yeah.
really pissed off at me.
Yeah. It's a nerve ending, and it kind of makes it, they stay
Yeah,
quiet.
they curl up. So we got to
Yep.
the vet. We got to our vet, and then my wife, she was like, I'm gonna show you." And then she said, so he grabbed the cat by the neck and he scruffed. I said, I scruffed him like this. And our doctor, Dr. Voss's, That's exactly how you do it. It's scruffing. And
Hmm.
she turned around, she grabbed our cat and scruffed him right there in front of my wife. My wife's eyes went
Yeah.
like this,
Yeah.
and then she's like, "That's how you do it. It's the safest way to do it."
Yeah.
And so I
Yeah.
said, I knew what I was doing. I've been a cat whisperer for a long time. Okay, I want to start thinking about wrapping this up, but I wanted to go ahead and let's talk about how people can help you. Uh, how can we help you help cats? Do you have a website up that,
I'm working.
or do you
Yeah, I'm working on a website. Working also on a GoFundMe, and of course my 501. Um, I will give you everything as soon as everything's set up. I will give you the addresses and everything to it. I'm also working on a Shopify store so that it's all to do with cat stuff, and all the proceeds for it, except obviously what it would take to buy the buy
have,
the object, whatever I have on there. The t-shirts, mugs. I also have all kinds of cat toys and beds. My big thing is cat beds. I'm an advocate of cat beds, and I've got really cool stuff on there. And all the proceeds go back into the cats. That's all
okay.
it does. It pays the bills and it does what has to be done. And then because I have to be able to afford an incubator, that's $400. I've got to get one. I just can't be without it anymore, and that's a lot of money to come up with in one time. So
Now,
there's certain things, that, yeah, I until all this gets done, because it's going to take at least another 6 months to be able to go, and the IRS to go through their rigmarole with that, and then it goes through the state, and then it comes to me. So I'm still paying for it out of pocket
if people
at this
wanted to
point.
donate, if people wanted to donate cat food to you, how could they donate cat food? Like, let's say they
Um,
want to go to Chewy and donate.
Chewy, yeah, Chewy. Oh, they know me by heart over there at Chewy. I always make my order over there. But yeah, what I can do is, like even with Amazon, I have uh, a channel, I guess, is on Amazon that you can um, buy certain things that are on the channel, or things that I really need,
Oh, wish list.
or blankets. I
You
always
have a
can
wish.
use a lot of blankets. I can
You have a
use
wish list,
always
right?
cat bowls, cat collars, any of that type of stuff. The Chewy over there, you can call up, and then I give my I'll give it to you, my name, address, and whatnot, and then Chewy brings it over to me, and I have a lot of people that do it that way. And I have food being brought here all the time. Not a lot, but just what people can afford, and I'm happy with that. Hey, I'm down with even a case of cat food. That helps feed 3 days worth of food, for the ferals. So if everybody did that, I would be able to keep the ferals very happy. But yeah, usually it's Chewy. Walmart is another one that they'll ship to me. Amazon, like I said, they'll ship. So I'll give you what I have, and I'll tell you the things that we really need here at the shelter. And whoever wants to donate would be very, very well received. Believe
Sure.
me. Wormer. I mean, gosh, I go through so much wormer, so much flea stuff, so much. It's yeah, yeah.
Now, is it true?
Also,
Is it true that most cats, you hear about cats getting fleas? Is it true that most cats get fleas because of dogs? Dogs give cats fleas?
oh, fleas are from fleas. I swear. Um,
Because it seems
yeah,
like every
I
cat
mean,
I
it's the same
know,
flea.
it seems like every cat
It's the
I know
same.
that has fleas has always been around a dog.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's that's, that's
And I
that's what
give
I've been.
there's. I think that what we do is when I get a cat in, usually they're absolutely covered. So not all cats are receptive to a bath now. So what we do is we use the cat stars, and we give them the pill. Within 30 minutes, all the fleas are dead. And then what we do is we give them, behind the neck. And sometimes we find out that some cats can't have that, and they're on a pill, a once a month pill. So this way, every month they get their pill, and then they go and they don't have fleas for the month. Even the ferals outside, what I do is I have this company I use. they have these little pouches, and that's the powder's in the pouch. You can has a little scoop with it, but when it comes to ferals and I'm feeding them in a big pan, what I do is I just measure out the powder for the pan, and then I mix it with the food, so that at least I know the cats are getting some kind of relief of all the the ticks and the fleas and whatnot, even being outside feral cats. It's just it's best I can do. I it's not like I can catch all of them and put a little flea, the stuff behind their neck. That doesn't always work. Um, some of the feral cats are where they're socialized. I can give them their shots and whatnot, and I just turn them back out again.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I do my
Uh,
best. It all depends on the money.
sure.
Flea stuff, as you know, is expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that. I see that a lot. I've seen there's like I follow like 3 or 4 rescues on Instagram, and so I see them. They explain their expenses and whatnot. Yeah,
Hmm.
I know it's really expensive. But what we'll do, we'll get all your information. You'll send it to me. I'm gonna
Yes,
put it in the description box here below. And I'm sure we'll be able to arrange a few donations and a few.
oh, that would be wonderful.
I'm
That
sure we
would be
can.
fantastic.
And but I want to thank you for coming out and sharing the experience and
Sure.
walking us through what the process is like.
Yeah,
Your Linda's organization, her rescue is called uh, Everything Cat Rescue and Rehab Center. And
yep,
thank you again for coming out and explaining to us how it works and sharing your experiences. I really do
sure.
appreciate it.
I'd love to hear from you guys again. Yeah, I really would. I'll bring some
No,
cats
no,
on
we
next
definitely.
time.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. I definitely we'll stay in touch, and keep us abreast of your progress. And
Sure.
I will share it out on here. We'll share it out on my on my Instagram, and my Facebook as well.
Good.
But
Great.
thank you for your time. And the chat, you guys are amazing too. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I know we can't do everything, actors and actresses or horror movies. Sometimes we got to talk about cats because
And
Hobbs knows
witches,
it.
don't forget, next time we talk, we're going to talk about my being a witch.
Oh yes, we will. Yes, well, we'll get into that too. You're a practicing witch, and we will
Yes,
talk
I
about
am.
that. I am very fascinated about that too, and I will definitely do that. I
Okay.
meant to do that today, but cats took over. What can we say?
Yeah, I know. I know. I know.
Cats are cats
But
are great familiars.
you
So.
you tell me one witch that isn't surrounding herself by with her familiar, which is a cat.
hmm I guess that makes me a witch too because I got a cheetah. I'm not sure if a cheetah's a familiar or not. I mean, but he's my familiar, that's for sure.
She's your
Um,
familiar. That's right. That's right.
so tomorrow's show, I'm not sure exactly what time it's going to start. I got to talk to our guest tomorrow because she got waylaid by her job. So she asked me if we could put her on a little early. So I'm going to see if we can. If I can, please make sure you look for your notification bells. They're going to be changing the time down and the start time. We're supposed to be talking with actress Chrissy Georgiana Peters tomorrow. I'm just not sure when the show will start, but just keep your eye out on the. Well, I'll be promoting it, of course. Uh, let's keep an eye out for my promotion, and I'll let you guys know too. I might even do a little blurb what time we start tomorrow, and then on Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern time, 6 p.m. Pacific time, we will welcome in our good friend Sean Kane, film director, film editor, all around hell of a guy, hell of a nice guy. He'll be here on Friday, and then Sunday. Are you ready for this? Action packed Sunday. We'll be interviewing Anthony Chabot at 2 o'clock. 6 o'clock, the ISC Midnight Nights return. Mary Wilson is hosting, and she is going to be We're going to be talking about "See for Me," which is a modern take of the classic "Wait Until Dark," which starred Audrey Hepburn and Adam Arkin. And then at 8 o'clock on the Midnight Society, we are going to be talking the Battle of the Two Doctors. Doctor Strange 85 and Dr. Mordred from Full Moon films. Also tomorrow night, I got a lot to announce here. Also tomorrow night, after we talk to Georgiana, or Chrissy Georgiana, 10 p.m. we have the Midnight Hour. I don't know who's going to be hosting. I do not know the topics. I do know there will be Boglins there, and that's the only thing I can say. And Sean Blue Digi should be back there. Maybe Mighty Casey might be coming back. All tomorrow night, all starting at 10 o'clock. And we will see you there. Linda, thank you again for everything.
Thank
And
you.
stay right where you're at. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace. Or blessed be.